Well, thanks. Is it working?
I'll tell you. Yeah, it just said live. Let me just watch this ad.
Hello? Am I live? I can't actually. Let me just turn down the volume. Oh, I am. It seems to be working. I've got Dave over here just checking. He's my moderator. So if you say anything mean or rude, he's going to put you in timeout.
Or just that I don't like.
Or if he just doesn't like you. No, I'm joking. Anyway, happy New Year and good evening. It is the evening here in the UK. And I just wanted to say, sorry if this is a weird time for people who aren't in the UK, because I thought 8 p.m. would be a good time. Turns out that's like 1 a.m. in New York. And I know that there's quite a lot of viewers in America wanting to tune in. So I was thinking maybe next time I might try and do this live stream on a Saturday at like 4 o'clock or something. Would that work for more people? I don't know. Someone says you're obviously not a football fan. Why? Is there football on? I am 100% not a football fan. Never have been. Anyway, it's live. It's working. Thanks everyone for coming along to chat to me. It's only my second YouTube live and I got really nervous again, literally like sweaty palms. So hopefully it'll go okay. So I picked the topic of diet and nutrition and fueling your rides for today, mainly because I kind of want to have a vague theme for each session so that I've always got something to talk about and I don't get stuck. So of course it doesn't mean that you have to just ask me questions about that, but you can if you want to. So, has anyone got any questions that they want to ask me? Or should I just carry on chatting? Fans rocks. Yeah, that's true. Okay, well, unless anyone wants to ask me some questions, I'm just going to get chatting to you guys about my training story and how I've come to know a fair bit about diet and nutrition. Obviously, I'm not a nutritionist, so everything I've learned is just through trying things out. How do I feel about peanut butter? Everything I've learned is through trying things out and through working with various different coaches, doing a lot of reading, writing for magazines, all that sort of thing. So, I started out cycling in London as a commuter and fitness was nothing to do with it. Nutrition was nothing to do with it. Then I worked as a bike messenger for 18 months. And basically what I used to do was spend as little as humanly possible on food. I used to smoke, I used to drink a lot. And although I rode like 10 hours a day, I didn't pay any attention to my health whatsoever. Then I moved down to Devon. Dave and I moved to Devon, and that's when I kind of started racing and I started looking more closely into what different diet and training can do. Obviously, the first thing I did was quit smoking, but then along with cutting down my drinking like massively, I started having a look at my diet. Basically, the more I trained, the more I realised I needed to eat properly because otherwise I just had no energy at all. So I started focusing on eating just whole foods, foods that are cooked from scratch and not a load of rubbish. Obviously I'm a cyclist, so I still eat cake, but that forms the basis of my diet. Just whole foods cooked from scratch and not loads of processed rubbish. So I don't want to just rabbit on without answering any questions because that would sort of defeat the purpose of this. The whole point is I want to chat to you guys. So now I'm going to read through some questions. Myanmar says, how do you feel about peanut butter? I love peanut butter. I'm vegetarian. Well, actually I'm not. I'm pescatarian because I eat fish. But anyway, I'm vegetarian. So I eat peanut butter all the time and other nut butters because I like to get some good protein and fats with my carbs. So if I need a snack, peanut butter on whole grain homemade toast is a really good one. So yeah, I love peanut butter. Kid Carbon's asking me, hello, by the way, do you do nutrition differently for fixed crits? I do my nutrition differently for different events. So road racing is different to crit racing, whether that's fixed gear or road bike crits. So essentially the way I plan out my nutrition is based on the length and intensity of the event. At a crit, you are probably only going to be racing 40 minutes to an hour. I mean, if it's 35, 40 minutes, you're not even going to need to take on any sort of fuel whilst you're riding, because the amount of time that it takes for gels and stuff to work, there's just no point. Also, depending on the intensity of the event, you can't actually process fuel properly. Sorry, my camera's wobbling, I'm leaning on the table. If you're racing a really fast crit, your stomach can't process this fuel that you're taking on, so it just sits there redundant because your body is working on all the other stuff, like turning your legs. So I fuel differently for road crits to how I do for a road race, or fixed crits to how I would for a longer ride. To go into it a little bit more, basically, I would make sure that I was really well fueled and my carbs were topped right up. My glycogen levels were really high before the crit. I'd probably take a gel on the line just because that's kind of a ritual. And then I won't take anything during the race. In a road race, obviously, you've got to take on nutrition. Right then. I've eaten enough at Christmas to fuel my rides for a year. Do you follow a strict diet? No, not at all. I don't follow a strict diet. I naturally gravitate towards whole foods. So I tend to cook stuff that's made out of single ingredients. So rather than buying a pre-made thing that's got loads of ingredients on it, I will just buy a tin of tomatoes, some vegetables, potatoes. Do you know what I mean? Like actual food. And I'll cook that, put it together. And then I do eat a lot of bread, but normally I make my own bread, or Dave does actually, so it's not full of rubbish. And I eat cakes as well. I eat crisps. I have takeaways and stuff. But the point is, the majority of what I eat is whole foods, veggies, and that sort of thing. So no, I'm not strict, but that's because I'm just kind of sensible. Like, I don't have to be strict with myself. If I was the kind of person like Dave who gravitated towards a pretty unhealthy diet, then I would try and be stricter with myself. But because I'm not like that, I don't have to. In case you're wondering about Dave, who is super duper slim and has plenty of muscle, he just eats any old rubbish. He literally will buy a whole packet he'll eat a whole packet of Pringles, he'll eat a whole packet of biscuits or a multi-pack of crisps. He eats Chinese takeaways, all that rubbish all the time. That's what he likes eating. I see him out of the window when he's on his way back from the shop, shoving in a huge chocolate bar so that I don't have a go at him about eating really badly. So yeah, different strokes for different folks. Is Dave better? Yeah, he's a lot better. He's been training in the gym 4 days a week and he's really strengthened his back, and the prolapsed discs seem to have settled. They're not pressing on any nerves, and so building up all the strength has really helped him stabilise his back, as has training on the watt bike, because he was able to put the bars up really high, so he wasn't putting lots of weight through his arms and putting pressure on his shoulders and stuff. So he's doing a lot better. Thanks for asking. Are you sponsored by any nutrition companies? I've been working with Tribe for a while, for like the last 6 months or something. They're a British company. They make bars, different kinds of bars, and also hydration powder, and it's all whole foods and it's all vegan. So I'm always eating those things. I just eat them for snacks and I eat them for dessert because it's just smushed up nuts and seeds and stuff like that, and they're really, really nice. Yeah. 1 second. Cup of tea. How important is meat and protein in cycling? I've come from a powerlifting background and want to give cycling a blast, but I think I'm overdoing it. Well, William, protein is important. Meat, well, you don't have to have meat to get protein. Essentially, you want protein to rebuild your muscles after you've been riding. Because when you train, obviously, well, you probably know this, you're from a powerlifting background. So you know that when you train, it breaks down the muscle fibers, and that protein helps rebuild the fibers and replenish you. So obviously protein is important, but it doesn't have to come from meat. As I said, I'm not vegetarian. I eat fish, but I don't eat a lot of fish, and I get plenty of protein from just normal foods. As I was saying, peanut butter on whole grain toast, or nut butter in my porridge, or protein bars. I eat a lot of Tribe protein bars. I eat a lot of beans. There's a lot of protein in lots of things. There's this myth peddled by, I think, the meat industry that you need to eat loads of steak to get loads of protein. You don't. There's also a bit too much focus on protein for cyclists because protein is trendy right now. In fact, I've just written a blog post about this. Eating a lot of protein is trendy right now because carbs are kind of evil. Everyone wants to lose weight by cutting out carbs, so they all eat protein. Well, as a cyclist, you need carbs as well. So I would say don't cut carbs if you're a cyclist. That's my opinion. Other people might disagree because there's this whole thing about fasted rides. But I'm not going to go into that because I don't know enough about it. Anyway, so if you want, you can try and eat between 50 and 60 grams of... I'm losing my train of thought. Anyway, I'm going to move on. Sorry. I knew I'd get flustered at some point in this. Do you watch what you're eating on a daily basis or only when it comes to racing? I think I've covered that one. I don't really watch what I eat because I gravitate towards decent food. But when I'm racing, I really watch what I eat around the race. So I won't eat spicy, greasy, salty, heavy foods around a race. I always eat the same pre-race meal and the same breakfast. So 3 hours before my race, I'll have some pasta that's really plain because I know that I can digest it really, really easily. It's really important before you race that you don't eat like whole grain carbs because they're really slow to digest. You really want like white bread, white pasta, white rice, stuff that's easy on your stomach and easy to digest. So I always watch what I eat around races. As I said, I don't watch it all the rest of the time, so I'll eat cake or whatever, but around a race, yeah, I do. Do you like Marmite? Oh my God, I love Marmite. I love Marmite so much. Did having a nutritionist make a big impact on your cycling when you began? I didn't have a nutritionist. I was just getting casual advice from people. I think it had a big impact on my recovery, which allows me to train more. So I guess, yeah, it had an effect on my cycling. I think if you're not eating properly and you're drinking too much and you're not sleeping well, then that's all going to have an effect on your cycling. So nutrition is just all part of the overall package. And breathe. How is Dave's back? Well, we covered that one out, Alistair. I don't know if you've just tuned in, but thanks for asking. Dave's back is a lot better, although he still has to be careful. At Christmas, he kept picking up all our nieces and nephews and throwing them around, and he got a few twinges. So I'm like, don't do that. Hi from Tenerife. Who's that? Sorry, it's moving too quickly. I can't even see. Yeah, Mia Mars. Can I just say I'm fully vegan and haven't died of a protein deficiency? Exactly. Yes. People make too big a deal out of this protein thing. It's silly. Oh, hey, Katie Kookaburra. You're vegan too? Okay, cool. Yeah, exactly. It's easy to get enough protein, right? Do you fuel at regular times on the bike? Like big breakfast, 1 bar after 1 hour? Yeah. Okay, so Fanny Benusen. I think I pronounced that right. Yeah, I do feed at regular times on the bike. So I wouldn't do a big breakfast before a ride because you don't want something that's going to weigh you down. In my opinion, it's best to have something like oats and some eggs. Sorry to the vegans there, but I'm just going on what I eat myself. So that's quite a good breakfast. Nothing too heavy because otherwise all your energy is going to be down here in your stomach digesting everything. Then when I'm out on the ride, it depends how far I'm riding and how fast. So if I was just doing an hour and a half or even 2 hours, I probably wouldn't eat anything. I mean, 2 hours, I'd probably have some carbs in my water bottle. But if I was just doing 2 hours at zone 2, I probably don't really need to eat anything. If I'm doing, say, 3 hours, I would start eating at about 45 minutes in, and then I'll probably eat about a bar an hour, depending on how hard I'm going. If I'm doing a hard ride, then I might have the odd gel cube or stuff like that as the ride gets on. I try and eat normal food until I'm like really flagging, and then I might have a gel. So I do have a set routine of how I do it. I think, yeah, you need to eat on the bike, but only if you're doing a certain length of time and going at a certain intensity. Timothy Graff says, my wife is keto, and trying to encourage me in that direction. I'm concerned I will miss and need my carbs. Has anyone had success going keto as a cyclist? Sorry, Timothy, I can't answer that question. I have some friends who are mountain bikers. They do that keto thing. I don't understand how they've got any energy at all. It would kill me. You need, in my opinion, again, I'm not a nutritionist, you need carbs to fuel your cycling. Carbs, it's glycogen in your muscles, and that's how you fuel your cycling. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, tell me in the comments. I don't know. Oh my God, I see that Dave has put his bread recipe up there. Gosh, I see that I've missed loads and loads of questions. I'm really sorry. I'm going back up to try and have a look. I wish there was some way that Dave could help me by highlighting questions I should answer. I'm just scrolling through and there's so many. Please stop talking about cake. The supermarket's only 5 minutes away and the boot of my car is nearly as big as my stomach. You see, Patrick, I'm lucky that I live in a small village and all the shops shut all the shops. The shop shuts at 8 o'clock at night. So I can't do that whole thing of suddenly getting a craving, going down the shop and getting cake or beers because there's nothing there. Right. Let's get some more questions going on. Do you think gym work is important? It depends what you're trying to achieve. I find it really, really, really helpful because I've got a bad back. Ditto, Dave. He's found it really helpful to strengthen his back. I've had really debilitating back issues in the past. And doing deadlifts and squats and all that sort of thing, far from making my back vulnerable, has made it stronger. I also think that you can develop strength, so you can give it more torque on the bike, and also you can develop endurance in your legs through the gym. There's loads of reasons why I would go, so definitely. Also, it's fun. Right. I always get stuck for lunches. Just in general, what's quick and simple, veggie friendly, and not cheese or bread based? Oh God, I eat so much bread. You asked the wrong person. But one thing that I used to eat quite a lot of is, you can get those pre-cooked packets of grains with quinoa in, and they're flavoured. I would just bung one of those in the microwave with some black beans, steam some broccoli in the microwave as well, mix all that together. So you've got quinoa, bulgur wheat, all different grains, brown rice. You've got broccoli, maybe edamame beans. You can get them out of the freezer. And black beans, all in a bowl, and then put on some sriracha sauce or hot sauce or a bit of avocado. That's a really good one. I also do the same thing with sardines, but that's not veggie or vegan friendly. Sorry. What's this agree on the tea thing? Take care of your kidneys. I must have missed that one. Right. What questions shall I answer? Sorry, there's so many. I'm struggling to decide what to answer. What if you don't feel like eating before a race? What if you're not hungry? Would you still get your pasta because that's what you normally do? Yes. 3 hours before a race, I eat my pasta. It's a ritual, and I find that routine and ritual helps me focus on the race. I don't have to worry about anything else. I just do everything the same each time. I know that meal works for me. Doesn't matter if I'm hungry. I guess if I'm really, really not hungry, I might eat a bit less of it. But I think that it's good to have that meal before you race. Have you tried Marmite and peanut butter on toast or rice crackers together? Of course! Yeah, all the time. I love Marmite and peanut butter. Also, Marmite and cheese sandwiches, for a salt overload. This is meant to be healthy talk, but yeah, Marmite and cheese, toasted sandwich, yes. Hi Thomas, well thank you. James says, how many hours a week do you and Dave typically get on the bike? Any kind of two wheels counts. Oh gosh, well I don't add up my time on my mountain bike because I could go out for the whole day on my mountain bike and I don't count it as training, it's just fun. But I try and do like 10 to 12 hours of actual training a week. It depends on the week though, and it depends on if I'm sort of doing more endurance-based stuff or intervals. If you look on my Strava, it looks like I hardly ever ride because I've got everything kind of set to private, so it looks like I just don't do anything. Hello, Pato0114. You've just joined the chat. Who did my tattoos? This is by Thomas Hooper. He was working at Frith Street, London, and we were all friends, and he did this a very long time ago. He also did this, and then moved to New York, and I never got it finished. Bummer. Right. Do you train more with tempo or big hit workout? I do both, Ryan. So today I just did 2 hours at zone 2, which is so nice because it's just going for a ride. And that's a nice chilled endurance based workout. And then other times I'll do 3 hours at zone 2 with some intervals within it, but really well spaced out, so I recover really well. And then other times I do quite intense short workouts, so a mix. Sorry to be vague about that. Genuine question. Bran flakes before a ride. I have them every morning. Wonder if they're a little too much for a 2 hour plus ride. Oh, I think bran flakes are fairly, I don't know, but I think bran flakes are processed, so they're probably going to digest okay. If you were just eating bran, maybe it would be harder to digest. I don't know. Sorry. Hi, Alejandro Ramirez. Thanks for watching my videos. Glad you like them. Do you race on Zwift? Says, oh, I've lost the question. Do you race on Zwift? I've done one or two races on Zwift. It's so hard. It goes off really fast, like a cyclocross race, and then hopefully settles. But yeah, you mess up the start, you're doomed. I probably will try some more races on Zwift. It's just hard to, like, basically I don't want to race on Zwift if I'm going to do really badly, and therefore I feel like I can't do my hard training sessions before a Zwift race because then it'll make me do badly in Zwift. But then I don't want to skip my hard training sessions because I'm not training for Zwift races, I'm training for other races. So that's kind of why I don't do it. Do you take vitamins? No. The link to your Insta in your bio isn't working. Link in your Insta bio isn't working. Oh, bummer. I didn't realise that. Oh, well, I guess people can't join me from Instagram. Duh. I guess I should have checked it. What's the most ridiculous product you've been asked to endorse? Oh, that's a really hard question off the top of my head. There's been some strange ones. Keto supplements, weird things like that. I don't know. Sorry, I can't think, but there's been some weird ones. I get so many that I just can't be bothered to reply to them, honestly, if they're just stupid. Right. Hi, Juliet. Do you ever have knee pain when cycling? Not pain, more like a knee occasional grumble. Very rarely. So I have been trying to do more foam rollering, and I went to get a massage the other day because the muscles around my knee get very tight. So it's not really a knee problem. It's just I need to take care of my muscles a little better so they don't pull. How different is Dave's diet from yours? Well, I cook quite a lot, and I cook, like I said, food from scratch. And Dave really likes my food. Dave also cooks for me, and he'll cook food from scratch for me. But it's what Dave supplements those meals with that's bad. So like I said, he'll eat a family-sized bar of chocolate on the way back from the shop in the morning. And then I'll be popping to the shop in the evening, and I'll be like, oh, do you want anything? He's like, oh, just get me a little chocky bar. And he means another family-sized one. It's horrendous. And I'm worried because it doesn't matter if you look good and he does look good. It matters what all that fat is doing to your organs, right? Anyway. How many times do you eat a day, and what about chocolate? Oh, I eat a lot. I eat all the time. Not chocolate, but I'm always eating. So I have breakfast, and then I'll have a snack in the middle of the morning, and then I'll have lunch, and then I'll have another snack in the afternoon, and then I'll do a ride in the evening, and then I'll have dinner, and then I'll have another snack before I go to bed. So, but they're not bad snacks, so it doesn't matter. They're not bad. Hey Juliet, what cycling destination is on your bucket list? I'd really like to go to Hawaii. That would be really, really awesome. No, I'm not doing veganuary. Do you like almond butter? Why is it so expensive? Oh my god, yeah, it's lovely, but it's not expensive if you make it yourself. I have got this really cool high-powered blender thing, a ninja thing, and you just bung almonds in there, make your own. It's really cheap. Have you cut out alcohol completely? Hell no! There's a 4-pack of Guinness in the fridge right now, and I'm going to open one as soon as we're done. Actually, we're going to be done in 5 minutes. Let me answer some more questions. Do you drink beer or wine? Yes, both, but not at the same time. What is Marmite? Well, it's going to sound disgusting if I explain. It's a yeast-based spread. It's really dark and sticky and really salty, and you have a tiny bit of it on buttered toast. It's like Vegemite, but you probably don't know what that is because that's from Australia. Wait, I was just about to read another one. Dave, you should do a Q&A. It's the only way we're going to get the dirt on Juliet. When you talk about zones, do you prefer to pulse or what zones? Well, I'm talking about power zones at the moment because I train with power. Our post-ride sugar treat used to be pitta split with a chopped banana, peanut butter and lemon. Whack it in the toaster, melted lovely mess. That sounds nice. Fabrice, my daughter Ella would like to know how old you were when you first learned to ride a bike. Ooh, little, about 5 or 6. I can't remember. But I didn't start cycling again until I was much, much older. Like I cycled when I was a little kid, and then I didn't cycle at all when I was a teenager. And then I started again and began racing. Hi Juliet, what is your weight in the race? 56 kilos. Ciao Joseph. Have you tried Spirulina? Nope. Do you go to tons of countries and travel for races? Says Ryan. Yes. Hello Sean. How much in kilograms? 56 kilos. Didn't I answer that? What is your preferred snack? Peanut butter on homemade toast. Let me answer another question because we're running out of time. That Guinness is calling me. How do you manage portion control? I only eat whole foods made from scratch but struggle with portion control after rides. You just got to be sensible. I mean, we all know what a normal portion looks like. So just dish yourself out a normal portion, and then I find it's quite good if you put all the leftovers in a Tupperware and put Tupperware and put them away, rather than having like a pot with the rest of your dinner sitting around so you can just go and have more. If you really want to stick to a portion size, dish yourself up the portion, get rid of the rest of the food, put it away, freeze it, whatever. But the thing is, like, if you want to manage your portions, you'll manage them. It's just a choice you've got to make. When's the next Panic DHH tour? Never! But Robbie's got his new band, The Big Pink. Maybe they're playing sometime. I don't know. I haven't seen him in bloody ages. Are the cats sponsored? That would be so cool if they could be sponsored by a food company. Preferably one of those fancy ones that comes in special pouches, because they're real snooty about their food at the moment. Is the only reason you eat healthy because Dave was eating all the junk food in the house? Well, yeah. Like, if I have some really, really nice chocolate, because if I'm going to eat chocolate, I want really nice chocolate, I have to hide it. And I have to get very creative with my hiding places, because Dave will find it and eat it. Don't worry about portion control, just ride more, it'll even out. Well, yeah, kind of. You're kind of right. Oh, look! Told you. Is that this isn't product placement. Do you think we could get sponsored by a beer company? Anyway, thanks everyone for joining in. I hope I managed to answer some questions in a decent kind of way. Have you ever tried anti-cramp supplements? No, but I don't get cramps, so I wouldn't need to. If there's any questions that you really, really want me to answer and I haven't managed to answer, please can you comment on the video, because this whole live session is going to get uploaded to my channel. So can you leave your questions in the comments underneath and I'll answer them. But other than that, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, I was going to say that next week I'm going to do the Sufferfest. You know that new thing, the Sufferfest thing? What's it called? Sufferfest, right, have done this new test where it's an hour-long test and it gives you your power profile. So you have to do like a 5-minute all-out effort and then an FTP test and some full on sprints. It's called full frontal. So I'm going to do that for next week's video. If you want to see me suffer, then have a look on my Instagram on Saturday, because that's when I'm filming it. But for now, will you do road races? I already do road races. For now, bye. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, my hands don't work now. They're covered in Guinness and I can't actually turn it off. Look.
Everyone's going to say hello now.
No, really.